Good evening and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Golden Lap. We are back here, guys. Season 9, Race 4. You can see that from the thumbnail. And we are starting today's episode with a kind of mixture of press conference alongside driver selection. Because at the end of the last episode, if you missed it, Henny Holgersen unfortunately lost control of the car and is not available, obviously. He's not with us anymore. We are going to have to select a replacement. And it's actually a little bit annoying, a little bit frustrating that the episode I chose to stop the face cam for a little bit is the episode where something like this happened, where I basically wasn't talking at the end of the episode because in terms of the game, you know, we lost a really important character in our game and you couldn't even see my reaction. So it's a little bit annoying, but the face cam is gone just for a little while. It may come back, like I say, guys. And I actually saw a comment saying, oh, I actually prefer the face cam. And I would like to bring it back at some point. It just kind of depends on how much time I've got and whether or not I've got the setup for it. At the moment, I don't quite have the setup for it. So we're going to have to just go without for a little while. But you never know, it will come back at a later point, I am sure. So, into the press conference. And what I'm going to do, as I read through the comments, I'm also going to keep a tally of the drivers who are mentioned to replace Henny Holgersen. If we view the team and choose the driver that we've currently got available, we've got quite a good selection at the top here. You know, not quite sure who we're going to go with. But down the bottom, you can see we've got most of the early career paid drivers. You know, I don't really always subscribe to that line of thinking with the paid drivers. Like, even in modern F1, it does happen sometimes. But all of them have got speed 1, focus 1, which isn't really what we're after if we're trying to compete. We want maybe these numbers that are a little bit higher. And we also will keep an eye on the traits as well. And I did pause or kind of give you guys an opportunity to have a look at the drivers and their traits at the end of the last episode. But here we go, time for the press conference, and like I say, I am going to keep a tally. So, first comment from Victor. Breaking news. Edward King signed sponsorship deal with fast food franchise that I'm not going to name just in case that gets me in any kind of trouble. You can guess which one it is. Edward has selected the ingredients for a brand new burger called the King Edward. As part of his sponsorship deal, King must eat one King Edward before every race. I mean, we're not actually racing that often, so 10 burgers over the course of a season, it's not that bad, you know. It's probably not the most healthy way to go about eating, but it's probably not that bad either. So good comment from Victor. I like when we come up with headlines and fun stories to go along the series. Next up is Hayden, who says, so sad for Henny. I feel like he had a great shot at the podium in that race. He will be remembered for the great stint last season. As for the replacement, speed seems to be the most important stat. So you basically need to give Russo a shot, even with the reckless trait. So Russo has 1 on the tally mark, even with the reckless trait. Now, the reckless might make me kind of take negative points off of him. I'm not sure just yet, but I don't particularly like the reckless trait. But out of the drivers we've got, we don't have the crazier, we don't have a very large selection available to us, so we have to kind of keep that in mind. Laughing Dead comments, watching Henny trying to catch Nielsen just as the rain was beginning to wet the track, had fans on the edge of their seats, and once again, night fans are left wondering what the future holds. Yeah, it was so annoying as well because he wasn't there were so many cars on slick tires as the rain was coming down. So it's just unlucky. And then Beggar chimes in with it. Oh my god, they killed Henny! They did. They did. It wasn't me, it was the game. Punk also comments, we're so close to 900. Well, would you look at that, guys? We are at 900 subs. And that is, of course, that is you guys. That is all down to you guys. So thank you so much for that. We've hit 900. The next target, of course, is the 1,000 mark. I've said before that the 1,000 mark is kind of a little bit of a a big milestone for any channel really, because you got to get to that 1,000 mark with a certain number of watch hours and stuff like that in order to try and start monetizing the channel. As of yet, you know, the channel for me is fully hobby based, you know, and even when we get to the 1,000 subs, it's still going to be the same, you know. It's going to be hobby based. I try and upload 2 to 3 videos a day. Whether or not that workload is going to get me a little bit kind of too much in a little bit of time, you know, in the next month or so, we'll find out. But the plan is never, ever to drop below 2 videos a day on average. That is at an absolute minimum, because the Witcher videos go up every day, and those are non-commentary, so I don't commentate over those. Those are me just playing the game in my, you know, in my spare time, in my free time, editing those videos. These videos with the commentary, obviously they take a little bit more time because I have to kind of vocalize what I'm thinking, and I have to play the game and think about it and stuff like that. So they do take a little bit more time, but there will never be less than 2 videos on the daily, on average, like across the week, across the month. So don't be worrying about that. Next comment from, thank you Punk, by the way. Next comment, Cobra, spoilers. Pen letter from Ridgemont Fast Times. The world is standing with Knight in these troubling times. The events in Argentina have shocked the racing community and the world at large as we all struggle and begin to mourn. Holgerson will be missed and remembered for years to come. His legacy is that of an incredible driver and athlete. Without trying to be insensitive, was his introduction into a new and much higher performance vehicle a factor in him losing control? I don't think so. I think he was driving, you know, really well at the end of last season. He hadn't had the best start this season, but he had still kind of, he was still a driver that deserved to be at the number 1 slot, or at least, you know, share that number 1 slot with his teammate. So I don't think there was anything particularly, how do I say, particularly different, you know? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, we can rule out foul play, and Ed Solini have in fact reached out to offer support. Yes, they have. They I don't know if you saw the social media post, but of course they did post. And who will fill the second seat? Well, we will find out here today. Thank you for that comment, Cobra. Next up, Slime Punk says, been hectic. Peter Pickle Picker had to take a break, even if I'm not commenting. I never miss an episode. And this is the video, sorry, the comment that said, I do prefer facecam, but I can live without it if needs must. Yes, unfortunately, right now, I'm actually just keeping the facecam off for a bit. But thank you for the comments, Peter. Yeah, there we go. I messed it up. Peter Pickle Picker. I said Peter. My bad. Thank you, Punk, for the comments. I appreciate every single comment. Adam says, Russo number 1, McDonald number 2. So I'm going to put 2 points into Russo, and then McDonald is going to get just the 1 point. McDonald is Ian McDonald, who doesn't have the reckless trait, but he does have aggressive, which is good for overtakes, and is a little bit, wears tires out a little bit faster. But none of those, I think, are as bad as reckless. So I do have to think Ian McDonald is maybe the best bet. 4 and 4 is pretty balanced as well. Pretty balanced. Next comment from Adam. That last comment was from Adam as well. This one is also Adam. 2 Rainmeisters not winning in the damp race 3. Would you call King master of all terrain? I definitely would. He's been very dominant, hasn't he, so far? Good comment, good pun. I like it. Now, guys, I just want to quickly bring attention to Hitchin Baz's comment. If you've not read it from last episode, go and check it out. It is a very long comment, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to kind of summarize here. It starts with, it was a sad day in Argentina today, as the world said goodbye to Henning Holgersen, Henny as he was known to friends. Had a checkered career over the last 9 years, starting in Formula 2, joined Chapman, raced very well, joined Ed Solini, raced again very well, then joined LeBron. Oh no, sorry, he joined LeBron first, I believe, and then joined Ed Solini, when Ed Solini was having their worst time of it. And then he actually joined Knight, had a really good end of season last time out with us, before Edward King has joined, and now King with a flying start. Henny has struggled a little bit, and maybe the pressure to improve. is what caused the moment of madness, and unfortunately Henny is no longer with us. Never won a championship. Maybe the fastest driver to never win a championship. We salute a legend and we say goodbye. That comment from Hitchin Baz, if you've not checked it out, go and check it out. I really appreciate it, Baz. Awesome comment. And I did actually reply to that comment saying that was one heck of a comment. And I'm really, really thankful for that. Next up was Beggar, who says Russo is the only option. Even if his focus is low, he's going to be thinking of the latest Bud Spencer and Terence Hill movie he watched, which is a throwback comment. Now, I am a bit of a movie guy. I know Bud Spencer, Terence Hill were Italian actors who made a lot of spaghetti westerns. And at the time, Italian actors were sometimes convinced or, like asked, would you have an American stage name or like a name that could work for not Italian audiences? And, yeah, maybe Giovanni Russo's focus is a little bit broken by those movies. I don't know, maybe. It's a good comment from Beggar. But he picks Russo, and that's going to be another point to Russo. Yeah, was a very, 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 very good comment there. Now, from Longer, question from Fast Car Media. Firstly, rip to the Swedish Superman, absolutely. Was it the pressure to perform that caused the crash? Or was it new parts malfunctioning? I've got to say, I think it was probably just a mistake. Just a mistake. I was supporting Henny, and I said I thought he was a confident driver. I was supporting him. I was not trying to put pressure on him. So I've got to kind of back there. It was just a mistake. And driver suggestion from Longwa is the South African driver of Ian McDonald. So that's another point to Ian McDonald. Panos drops an F in the chat. That is fair enough. This is a long press conference, guys. I do enjoy the press conferences, though. This is my chance to reply to you guys. And of course, we do have the chapters in the video. So if you feel like the press conference is going too long, you can always skip ahead. A replacement must be picked. Cobra does not trust a possible plant from Ed Solini and therefore must pass on Russo. Anderson may be a reliable pairing, but I like the looks of Ian McDonald. So Anderson gets his first point, and McDonald actually gets 2 points as a first pick of 2. So thank you for that, Cobra. Now, Cody with 2 questions. That's all right. Yes, it is. All hail King Edward. People have begun to point out how Henny Holgersson's entire career more or less revolved around crashes. Early in his career, he started to ascend to superstardom after an Ezzolini crash led to his LeBron year being one of the more dominant years of all time. Then he was followed by an Ezzolini tenure that was plagued with crashes, brought on by the pressures of being in the Ezzolini car and the arrival of night racing at the top of the grid. Finally, at the end of his career, a brief return to superstardom at night. But yeah, just a lot of races cut short by a fatal crash. What do you think the rest of the season could have looked like? Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We don't really know. I have to think that Henny was going to start competing more because that race was a wet race. It was going to be more difficult. But I reckon Henny was going to be competing. I've got to say it. I think he was. So that's my answer to that one. Danny, quickly. Danny says Russo. So that's a comment on that. 5 points for Russo. Jorge Bregman. This is the second part of Cody's comment. And he says, Jorge Bregman has completed his last home race in his career. Prior to the crash, many Argentine fans were seen booing night racing fans and members for dropping Bregman. Do I have any comment? I don't think Bregman can really feel hard done by. Performances are ultimately what we are judged on. His replacement is where? Top of the standings. I don't think you can be feeling too hard done by. If Edward King was not racing as well as he is, then yeah, maybe you would feel hard done by. But yeah, I don't think you really can. Now I'm just going to read out the final results of the driver picks. It was Russo 5, McDonald 4, Anderson 1. My pick actually would have been James Anderson, both because I love cricket and he has the highest focus, but that does not change the results of the picks. So it's going to be Russo, and that is actually fully you guys picking that one. So thank you very much for that, guys. You contribute, you are rewarded. Your pick is the pick of the next driver. So 3 pit stops in a single race or finish in the top 10 without using the highest push mode. No, no, no. We need to use the highest push mode every now and then. And that is the press conference done, guys. So, into the pre-race. Let's go into the garage. And it would be a little bit of a situation if we gave the new driver, Giovanni Russo, the new parts when, when Edward King is top of the standings and we've got a new driver in. If we actually look at Russo, he has had 5 races started, 5 always finishing in the top 10, which is, quite impressive. 58 career points. We're probably going to have to push a little bit less with him because of that reckless trait. Edward King, however, look at that. Races started 13, races completed 12. So he's had 1 DNF, 4 wins, and 211 career points. So, yeah, I mean, that Edward King is a fast freaking driver. Okay, we're going to build a new part for the next race, which is Monaco, so it only makes sense to build a steering part. So that's what we're going to do. 32.98 on that steering part. And it's going to go... Do we give it to like that? Or do we swap those parts around and equalize a little bit? You know what? I'm going to do that. I think Edward King is fast enough anyway. So I'm going to give Giovanni Russo the steering part that we just built. And the reason for that is quite simple. The more points the team can get, the better. Yes, because Edward King is currently at the top of the pile with 24 points clear. We are only 22 points clear. And the reason for that is obviously Henny didn't score in the last race. And before that, he only had a 5th and a 4th. So it's all about the team at the minute. Edward King is running really well, and we will continue to focus on trying to get Edward King the title from this point onwards. But it is also about trying to keep Ezzolini behind us, because they are actually closer to us than Anders Nilsson is to Edward King. So that is pre-race done. It's into quali, guys. And no rain. That's good. Hakan Falskog, invigorated. Anders Nilsson, partying too hard. That could be very, very useful for us. Okay. Giovanni Russo, on your first qualifying session for Team Night. What can you bring to the table? What can you bring to the party? I'm going to open up a can of drink. You might hear this. And we're going to see what happens on this first lap. Now, Russo says he can't focus. That is already proving the spaghetti westerns are in his head. He cannot focus. Edward King, on the other hand, does put in green sectors as well. Of course he does. Early doors. And wow, okay. So this is an interesting start. Let's just slow things down for 1 second here. Paul Woods has gone fastest with 2 purple sectors, 2 and 3. Nilsson, fastest sector in the first. Jan Schaub, that is one heck of a freaking lap from Jan Schaub. We don't see him at the top 5 very often. Mendes in 4th in the other Wayland. Fletcher down in 12th. It's not a great start. Russo, even with a no focus lap, has managed to kind of go basically the same speed as Edward King. Now, the weakest point of this track is the steering. So we're going to focus on the steering here. That's good. That's really good. And the numbers come out. Okay, it comes out 27 for Edward King. That's all right. That's not so bad. And like I say, we're just going to focus on the steering again. Like, the engine and the chassis are important, but I think we've got to focus on the steering first up because it is Monaco. In real life, I'm fairly certain that at Monaco, the teams are actually forced to put on a different steering rack because some of the turns are so tight, such as this hairpin here. So we're out for our second laps. No one else is out yet. Edward King is about to start the flying lap. He does. Russo, he's in the zone. Here we go. What can Giovanni Russo do in the night racing car. He's gone green first sector, but I was hoping for some purples. Edward King goes purple. That's pretty good from Edward King. And he goes fastest with purple in the third, but Anders Nilsson is already setting a fastest lap with another purple sector. He goes purple in the second. Will he go fastest? Russo, by the way, has gone second. Nilsson goes fastest by a second and 28. Very, very fast from Anders Nilsson, as we expect. So 4 points off that first one, 10 off the second one. Nice. 14, 16, 19, 21, plus 16 is 37, plus 1 is 38. So that was a really good tuning session there for Edward King. Really good indeed. We'll send him out and we'll focus on Russo now. 14 plus 6 is 20, plus 13 is 33, plus 6 is 39, and then 0. I hope my maths is actually correct there. I may have just been like going a little bit too fast for my brain to keep up, but I hope it was correct. And out we go for lap 3. So at Monaco, the lap is actually so long, it's 2 minutes or thereabouts, that you don't get that many chances to set fast laps. So we have really got to hope that the laps that we do set are when our drivers can focus up, as Russo has just done. Really good stuff. And Edward King is again going faster, so hopefully he will cut that gap to Anders Nilsson. What will he do? A 154? No, a 155.12. And Russo goes 155.64. So sitting pretty comfortably in second and third right now. But is that enough? We want to be 1 and 2. We want to be top of the pile, front of the grid. Let's try and get this golden tune sorted out here. No! What on earth is that? That is so unlucky for Edward King. So unlucky. He will go out. He will be sent out. There we go. And now we tune up again. So, there we go. That does it. Now it'll have to be... I mean, these are... I can't really say good no to that. That is a good... Oh, none of these are good now. There we go. That's our best bet. And we leave 1 point hanging, unfortunately. Let's see what the drivers can do on their third lap. Hopefully we get another... Sorry, fourth lap. Hopefully we get, like, it's going to be about there. About there. We should get 2 more laps in, but it's going to be close. Paul Woods has gone third. Lefebvre has gone second. Breckman goes fifth. Russo is still in 6th right now. Edward King in 4th. And Edward King has set a purple first sector. Will he keep that going with the second sector? Yes, he will. So at the moment, Edward King is going to go fastest. Whereas Russo, unfortunately, is going white sectors and will not improve his time. Edward King, fastest of the bunch as we speak. But there are, of course, drivers on their out laps right now. So they will put in their next lap. Hopefully, by going out a little bit early, we will actually get an extra lap in. And that will allow us to potentially go faster than the other teams and their drivers. Okay. Okay, I didn't focus on the steering there. I actually thought we had that done, but we didn't. But we are going to get another tuning opportunity in this next race. Now, that's probably our best one there. Let's go for a bit of a risky one here. Spending 5 points to potentially only get 3 back. We get 11. Same again. We get 5. And now that is that. So pretty even across the board there. You can see that Giovanni Russo's car is actually tuned a little bit better than Edward King right now. But that will probably equalize a little bit because Edward King is going to get that golden tune on the steering in no time at all. Nilsson is going purple and he goes faster, but not by a lot. Breckman goes 3rd. What a lap that is. Lovera goes 4th. And Russo is going to start his lap now. Let's see if Russo can get back higher up the board. We do not want to be starting 2nd and 8th. We need a little bit better than that. Edward King, purple sectors as things stand. And he goes fastest by almost 3/4 of a second. Very good. And Russo goes into 3rd. Lovely stuff. I don't really want to put too much pressure on Giovanni Russo. I do need him to perform, so let's say top 6 is okay, but 3rd is even better. Okay, so that is Edward King done. If we can send him out quickly, there is Oh no, there's no chance we get it because the look of the timer. No, there's no chance we get another lap out of him. Let's see what happens here, guys. So, Nielsen is once again going fastest, but of course, he will set his time. He'll go fastest. Lefebvre's gone purple in Sector 1. Let's just make a note of that. And Sector 2. However, Edward King has actually gone faster there. So, Lefebvre goes fastest. Edward King is here. Is he going to go fastest? Yes, he is. And that is going to be pole. And that is exactly what I was talking about, guys. By getting that extra lap in. So Anders Nielsen, I believe, only set 5 laps, whereas Edward King set 6 laps, and that is what allowed him ultimately to take that pole position. Unfortunately for Giovanni Russo, he got stuck behind Christoph Fischer, could not set a faster lap, and actually set a 2-minute lap. So yeah, really kind of, that's really slow, obviously. King gets pole position, well done to him. Russo starts in 6th, and like I say, I'm not going to put pressure on Russo. All I'm really looking for in this first race is just a clutch of points, you know? I'm looking for, let's say, 10 points, which would be 25, 18, 15, 12, 10. That would be 5th. So like I say, top 5, and I'll be happy with Giovanni Russo in what is his first race for night racing. We don't want to put too much pressure on. That's what we're going to do for now. Okay, it's time for the race, guys. It's race time. We can look at the weather down bottom left. It says there will not be any rain for the first 3 weather segments. It's a difficult track to make overtakes on. We've got pole position, which is incredibly important at Monaco, we would think. Giovanni Russo, if he is going to get 5th, he is either going to have to make an overtake, or strategically, we're going to have to try and get him above other cars in the pit stops and stuff like that. I just want to make a quick comment here that the top 5 cars, again, are 5 different teams. I think that is awesome. Then we've got LeBron in the top 8 as well. So the top 8 cars are from 6 different teams. And then you've got Bancroft 12, Pope 14, April 17, Hemlock 18. So it is difficult for these lower teams to, you know, stay competitive. They are going to do their best. Now, what we're going to do here with Edward King is we are going to run a particularly long first stint. Why are we going to do that? Because he is out in front, and if he can stay in front when everyone else pits, he will then be able to push a little bit, keep that pit stop gap, and there should be no chance of an undercut. That's what I'm hoping for. With Russo, we're going to go on the mediums because he needs to actually make some overtakes. That's what we're going for. Francois Van Dale, crew chief of Bancroft, partied a little bit too hard. Okay, so we are going to focus on Edward King to start. Here we go. We are pushing. We are burning. Let's have a good start. Edward King, do not lose first position early doors. Unfortunately, Giovanni Russo has gone backwards to 9th. I can see that on the left-hand side. We're going to open up the... Oh, my word. He's down in 11th. He's down in 12th. He is losing positions at an alarming rate. Giovanni Russo, you have got work to do, my friend. Okay, lap 1 is almost done, and Edward King so far has kept himself up in the first position, which is exactly what we ordered, exactly what we wanted. He's got Paul Woods pushing and trying to get on behind him. We're going to calm it down now because Paul Woods has calmed it down. And Russo has just made a double overtake on both of the Pope drivers there, Rinaldi and Fischer. He's back in the points at a bare minimum, and I mean this, bare minimum. I need Russo finishing in the points. If he doesn't finish in the points, then I think kind of, okay, he might DNF and that might not be his fault. But if he doesn't finish in the points, but he does finish the race, yeah, I think we have made an incorrect decision. Hopefully 5th or above. That's the target. But he's got to get some points. Okay, Paul Woods has just overtaken Edward King on the home straight. Now, is that because he's on the faster tyre, or is that because he was burning and pushing? Russo's in the zone, and yet he has lost 2 positions. What is that about? Now, I'm not actually going to worry too much about Paul Woods overtaking Edward King, because like I say, Woods is on the medium tyre, but it is a softer compound tyre. So I don't really need to worry about him, because he is going to pit. And when he pits, our plan is the same. You know, if he gets too far ahead, then yes, the pit window might open up. But he's not going to get too far ahead. Okay, Giovanni Russo is running a race that I'm not particularly proud of right now. I'm not particularly impressed with. He's down in 14th. And I'm not really impressed with it right now. The only thing is that I really don't want to push him too much, because that reckless trait could come back to bite us. And I don't really want that. I do not want him putting into the wall. I picked the driver on your guys' recommendation. You know, you guys picked the driver, really. I'm going to need to see some results, or I'm going to be questioning my own board of directors out here. And that's not something we want to be happening. We do not need that kind of split. That kind of, you know, turmoil in the management structure of night racing. Russo, get your act together. I'm on the radio right now. I'm like, Giovanni, get your act together. That's exactly what I'm saying right now. Okay, even with King, you know, 5 seconds back, I'm really not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it. I mean, I might give him a bit of a push and burn at the minute. We are 6.7 laps low. Okay, fine. Giovanni Russo, you're going to have a push and a burn for like a lap or two. 1.6, 1.2 behind Janssen right now. I just need a little bit more from Giovanni Russo. It's just been a bit slow, and he's kind of lost too many positions for my liking. A bad start followed by a bad race is not what we're after. And he has not got the job done on Dan Janssen. He's still in 14th. Edward King on the other side of things is just keeping that gap to Paul Woods. You know, evens at the minute. It's 5 seconds. It's not that bad. He's actually going to close it now, I reckon, because he's in the zone. It's going to go down to like maybe 3 seconds. Russo still not able to get the job done on that overtake. So maybe, just maybe, we're going to have to change strategy for Giovanni Russo. I am not impressed, guys, with our number 2 driver right now. He's got this better steering rack. We gave him the better steering part. And at the minute, he's not really using it. He's not really using it much at all. Anders Nilsson has gone fastest with a 1:48.65. That is pretty freaking rapid. Good stuff from the Ezzolini driver. Russo, what is going on? What is going on? Down in 14th, can't get past the second Chapman driver right now. Should not be finishing behind Pope drivers. That is definitely not on. Edward King is back in the zone once again. He's going to cut that gap from 3 seconds, probably even lower. Let's see what happens here. It's gone below the 3 second mark. 2.7. 2.7 over here, top right. Russo is in the zone this time. Okay, I'm going to give you another chance. Let's go. Push and burn. I want to see 13th by the end of this lap. That's what I want to see. And there it is. Well done, Giovanni Russo. Is this the start of the comeback drive, the rescue drive that we are looking for? He is now going to try and get past Rinaldi, and he does. 2 overtakes in the space of 1 lap. This is much better. Make that 3, as he kind of he threw it in there. In the chicane there. He really kind of threw it in there from a decent way back, and now he's got the other Pope driver of Christoph Fischer running in front of him, running in 10th right now. Edward King is in the zone again. Let's switch over to him. He is only a couple of seconds behind Paul Woods. Paul Woods is running that medium tyre, only about halfway done right now. How are we looking on the burn? We are negative 5.5. Okay, so the laps, obviously, the laps go by a little bit slower when it's such a long lap, but there's 71 of them because it's Monaco, and Monaco usually has like a high number of laps. So this is probably one of the longest races that you race across the season, which is saying something. We might have a very long video today, guys. We might have like a 50, maybe even an hour-long video, which is quite crazy. Oh no, Russo's lost the position to Luana Lovera. Not good. On the other side of things, Edward King is only 3.8 behind, make that 4 seconds behind Woods, and the first pit stops are happening. Now that is most likely the drivers who chose the soft tyre are coming into the pits now, and it looks like Fletcher has gone to another soft tyre. Thompson is probably coming in next. Let's just have a look. Russo got past Lovera again, and then so did Rinaldi. So Russo is once again chasing down Christoph Fischer. Can we get the job done? Can we get back into the points? Slow pit stop for Ribeiro down at the bottom. It's not something we're overly worried about. Okay, so Thompson, you've got to pit. What are you doing? Running your tyres. What is Thompson? Okay, no. Thompson's coming to the pits now. That's fine. Okay, pit stops all around. Edward King is now running at the front, as we know. Nilsson is trying to get past him. Nilsson's on the same strategy as us. He's on the hard tyre, bringing that tyre as far into the race as possible. What are we looking at on the burn? We are four laps in the negative right now. Russo is in the points because cars ahead of him have pitted. We're going to tell him to push and burn for maybe 2 laps. I want to see if we can get some kind of overcut going for Giovanni Russo. Okay, Paul Woods has gone onto the soft tyre again. So you could be thinking that Paul Woods is actually going to... Okay, Russo can't focus, so let's calm him down. But he is going to pit this lap. We put him on the hard. He doesn't make it to the end. The medium is probably the better bet. So that's what we'll do for Giovanni Russo. We'll go 2 times speed. No, sorry, we won't, because we've got to watch Paul Woods. Paul Woods has made a pit stop. He is in 3rd. He is behind Nilsson and King. We are running, at the minute, we look like we're running a one-stop strategy. That seems to be what we're going for. Now, I need Russo to see if he comes out ahead of Luana Lovera. Going around the chicane, he does by a long way. So that is perfect. So Russo has made his pit stop, and we've got Rinaldi in front, who has not pitted. So when Rinaldi pits, Russo will make up that position, and the overcut, I believe the overcut will work. I don't know. I don't know fully. I don't know if it's the overcut, the undercut, I don't know. Anders Nilsson has gone into soft tyres, which is very early. That's very early indeed, because there was a lot of rubber on these hard tyres left. We are trying to extend the hard tyre on Edward King to go for the one stop, because Woods is going to need to pit again. Anders Nilsson is going to need to pit again. We know that. It's just those soft tyres are never making it to the end. Okay, Russo's still running in 11th. Rinaldi has still yet to pit. Edward King... Oh, both in the zone. Look at that. Both drivers in the zone. Let's check the burn. We are negative 3.1. That's fine. We are saving fuel, as we tend to do, so that we can burn towards the end of the race. That is the strategy. Save, 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 and then burn to the finish line. That wouldn't be a bad title, would it? Burn to the finish line. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe that's the name of today's video. Unless, of course, something crazy drama happens. And we have to name the video after that. Okay, so Edward King is currently doing a very good job keeping Paul Woods behind. Think about it this way. We've taken back first position in the pit stops because King has not yet pitted. When Edward King does pit, the other drivers are going to have to pit again, so we won't actually be losing time. And if we decide to pit onto the hard tyre and run a one-stop, we are just going to the end of the race. We're going to be able to burn. We're going to be able to push whenever we need to with that driver. I genuinely think the one stop is going to be the way to win this race. But that remains to be seen. Russo is currently sat in 10th position, quite significantly behind the LeBrons as things stand. Is Russo going to just pick up a singular point for us? Anders Nilsson has overtaken Paul Woods and is trying to get past Edward King right now. But again, guys, I'm not worried. Because when we pit, they are going to pit again. Those soft tyres are not making it to the end. Not by a long, long shot. So Edward King is currently running such an extended stint that there genuinely might be cars who have made 2 pit stops before he has made his first. And he is still running in P1. If Anders Nilsson gets past him, we are not going to worry about it. We are not going to worry about it. I'm going to estimate... Oh, Lindbergh... Oh! Alright, well that actually changes things. Now we do not need to pit at all. And we get a full repair. The mediums don't make it to the end. The hard tyres do. Okay, I need a sip of drink while I think. What are our options right now? So, Edward King can run soft tyre, and then probably soft tyre again, or probably medium tyre again, or medium tyre, soft tyre. With either way, there will be a pit stop in here from now to the end of the race. We are just under the halfway mark. You can see that here. That's the halfway mark, about there. We are just under that. Hard tyre does not really make it to the end of the race. It doesn't give us a lot of leeway, a lot of wiggle room to push. So I'm thinking medium tyre, 1 pit stop, onto the soft tyre, and we finish the race on the fastest tyre we can possibly be on. If it's close with the soft tyre kind of making it to the end, then we just go to the medium. Yeah, we just go to the medium. That's not a problem. I think that's what we have to do. And now, at this point in the race, with a red flag, with a restart, it only makes sense to do the same with our other driver as well. So that is what we're going to do now. When the timer goes down to 0, we're going to have to quickly tell our drivers to burn as well. So I'm going to have to be quite quick about that. And I'm watching that timer carefully. Click all the way down. And then pause. Burn. And play. And away we go. So unfortunately, Russo's back in 10th. He did lose down to 11th. He's back to 10th. And Edward King is running in first. And he is running away from the pack. You can see that already. Now this has been a very big... It's unfortunate for Russo that he was lapped. Because it means that he would have to unlap himself, which he is currently trying to do. He's already passed Bregman. He's got to get past cars, get all the way round, and then kind of catch up again. Which is not going to be easy at all. So, we're going to have to calm him down. Check the burn. We are negative 1.8. And unfortunately, Russo is now back behind Jan Schaub. So, it's really unfortunate for Russo because you don't get to unlap yourself with a red flag. You are a lap down. You would have to pass everyone and then go all the way around again and then get yourself back onto the same lap. It's really unfortunate. Now, the interesting part of this thing here is that Woods is now, for some reason, down in 7th. What is going on there? Some drivers are on the soft tyre. Fletcher, who is up into 4th, which is good for him, he's on the hard tyre. Fletcher might be trying to take it to the end because when you've got nothing to lose, sometimes you try a wacky strategy and see what happens. Maybe that's what Fletcher is doing. But you can see the safe bet from Woods, from Lefebvre, from Nielsen, and from ourselves, Edward King. Go on the medium, see how long you stay on the medium, and then swap to the soft near the end of the race. And be as fast as you can be at the end of the race. That is clearly the strategy that Nielsen and Henri Lefebvre have gone for. At the moment, we have got 3 cars on the podium. Every single one of those drivers has driven for night racing. It's quite impressive, do we not think? Okay, we're at ×1 speed. I'm going to click forward to ×2 speed because all is well at the minute. Well, just before I do that, I'm going to check the burn. We're just a -1 lap before we can fully burn on our cars and take it to the end of the race. Russo is down in 12th. That is unfortunate. We want him to finish 10th at a minimum. It is genuinely, I've got to kind of say, I don't think it's really fair to judge him. Ultimately, being a lap down is near on impossible to get back. Unless you are just outrageously rapid. So, we've got to consider that with the red flag. His best possible finish now is 10th. And we've got to kind of keep that in the back of our mind. Edward King is running more or less the perfect restart so far. He's 2 seconds down the road. We will pit at some point. And as long as he keeps Anders Nielsen behind him, which is very close because Anders Nielsen is right on his gearbox. There we go. He's actually defended the place very nicely. We will pit, let's say we end up pitting, I don't know, maybe about lap 44. No, sorry, lap 45. Yeah, 45 maybe. Check the burn and we are good to burn to the end of the race. But only with King, not with Russo just yet. So, Edward King is burning all the way to the end. Burning to the finish line, as we say. Russo, not just yet. I need him to do maybe another couple of laps before we can do that. Now, unfortunately, has Lovera managed to unlap themselves? Is that what's happened here? I'm not quite sure. Okay, not quite yet. How about now for Russo? Not quite. Okay, almost though. Almost. We'll give him a couple of laps and then we'll definitely be able to burn. He's running in 10th, but that is again because other cars have pitted and whatnot. So you can see the gap is quite significant to those cars behind. He can now... Yes, he can now burn. He is 0.3 in the positive. He's trying to unlap himself. Good on him. He is trying to unlap himself. You can see this, and it's obvious here because number 10 is in front of number 9. And he's chasing down number 8. So that's what I mean by, like, he's trying to get that lap back. Even though it's definitely a Herculean task, he is trying. Okay, Anders Nielsen has pitted, has gone on to the hard tyre. Lefebvre has gone on to the medium. We've got quite a bit of rubber left on our tyre, but the gap is 30 seconds, which means we can safely pit now, come out in front of everyone, go onto the mediums, and run it to the end. So that's what we're going to do. This is a full safe strategy here, because Anders Nielsen has pitted onto the hard tyre as well. It's kind of crazy. I think Anders Nielsen has made a mistake there. He was right on our gearbox, and now he is going to be, what, like 10 seconds behind? 15! Correction, 15 seconds behind. So, I think Anders Nielsen has made a grave error there by pitting that early. Russo is in the zone. He is burning. Can he get the lap back? I don't fully know. We're going to pit him now as well. He will go on to... No, he'll have to go onto the mediums. Look, he's not going to get the lap back, is he? But he will finish 10th as things stand. Yes, he will. There we go. Well done. Okay, so if Lovera somehow manages to go... Oh, that's why. Because he got past Thompson. It went back to a timer. But now he's fully a lap down again. So, yeah, that does make sense. What we're going to do, anytime Edward King says he is focused up, we're going to tell him to push for the fastest lap. We want to get that fastest lap. And the other side of things is anytime we see Lovera getting close to Russo, then we'll push Russo as well. But it does look like 1st and 10th is going to be the finish, guys. And we've still got like 15 laps to go, and we're on to a 50-minute episode. This is a long old episode. And we hope you guys don't mind that, because it's, you know, it's happening. It's happening. And there, that's exactly what I mean. Anders Nilsson has put in a fastest lap. So we're going to try and take that away from him the next time Edward King says, I am in the zone. We've got lots of laps to go, so we don't have to worry about that just yet. And there is, of course, the chance that that Edward King will take the fastest lap without pushing. Like, there is genuinely a chance of that as well. So once again, Russo is actually ahead of cars who have lapped him. So he's on the same lap again as Schaub and Bregman, because other cars have pitted. King's in the zone. Okay, well, we'll give him a push. Let's go. Let's see what happens here. He takes that fastest lap back. There we go. That's exactly it. So we're just going to try and keep that golden lap. It's an extra point in the championship, and we want as many points as we can get. Unfortunately, it does kind of look like Russo is slowing down Edward King here. So we've got to let him get past at some... There we go. He lets him go. That's good. That's fine. Next up for Russo is trying to catch Fletcher and getting that lap down again. Or somehow catching up to Jan Schaub. He is 1 minute 20 behind. He is 80 seconds behind. I can't really see it happening. But you never know. You never know. Honestly, you never know. Stranger things have happened. If someone crashes out, he gets a position. We'll take it. Let's see. 6 laps to go. Edward King is 40 seconds down the road. He's got that fastest lap. And if he does focus up, we'll keep trying to push that fastest lap even better, because we don't want to lose that point. We really don't. Giovanni Russo is 1 minute 14 behind, so he has cut it by 6 seconds. Of course, it's simply too much to ask for him to really catch up to the others, but it's good that he has unlapped himself even a little bit. It's quite a statement that he is quick enough compared to these other kind of mid-order cars. He can unlap himself. We haven't really seen that happen in a race before. Russo's in the zone. He'll bring it down again. He'll bring it down again. Let's give him a push. Let's see what he can do. What's it at now? It's at 110. Make that 109, 108. Coming down real fast. 108 still. It's very good. He's struggling to get past Fletcher. That's okay. Because again, he's a lapped car. It's always difficult. Don't worry about it. 10th place is yeah, it is what it is. We'll take it. King can't focus. There's only 2 laps to go. I'm going to tell him to push on that last lap, because Paul Woods has just taken the fastest lap. We are going to need to tell him to push. Let's go, Edward King. Focus up. He's not focused up. Dang it. It's going to be last lap wonder. Here we go. Edward King, I need a fastest lap from you. In fact, I'm going to tell them both to push, because I want to get that golden lap point. Let's go, Edward King. He can't focus again. Come on now. I want this fastest lap, Edward King. He does not manage it. And neither does Russo. That's okay. To be fair to Russo, he really tried. They both really tried. They are not far off. 1 point for Russo. Another tragedy. What is going on? It's ridiculous out here. So, unfortunately for Giovanni Russo, he only takes 1 point. It was, let's be honest, the red flag came at an unfortunate time because he was a lap down. If he was not a lap down, he would have made overtakes. He would have finished like maybe 5th or 6th. Because we saw he did get past these cars on the track. The thing is, it didn't matter for his position because he was a lap down. So, it's a bit of a tough one to take, that one, but we will move on. We celebrate on the podium. Well done, Edward King. He takes we take a full 26 points, but so do Etzolini. So there's no change in the differences of the team standings. It's still 22 between us. It is going to be freaking close. We need Giovanni Russo to step up. We do. It's got to happen. He needs to step up and get some points going for us. And that is without a doubt. Now, take a look at the driver standings, guys. 31 points is the difference. Edward King, at the moment, he is 4 from 4 at the top of the standings. Racing very, very well. Next up is a difficult race for us because it is going to be rainy. In fact, it's going to be 2 difficult races as we go to Belgium and then we go to Japan in the rain, most likely at both races. It is not going to be easy. That is the end of the episode, guys. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for commenting. You picked Giovanni Russo and we are going to get him some points. It was unfortunate. The red flag came when it did. But we are going to get Giovanni Russo some points. Let's go. Thank you for watching, guys. Of course, I will catch you next time.